Welcome to P. Marin Space Museum. My name is Brad Elliott and I'm here with Red Greth today from Tucson Dragway. He brought his race car, and the story goes that the steering wheel for this race car was from a B-29 trainer, and so we're going to talk a little bit about both the race car and the B-29.
This car has been to many museums. Matter of fact, right now I'll tell you that this car raced in Mexico, Canada, all over the United States. It traveled more than any other drag race cars because the guys on the West Coast, they wouldn't go across the Mississippi River. And we raced, we didn't care. As long as we had enough gas money to get us there and back and buy nitromethane, we were fine. It had been in pieces and wrecked and all that stuff, so we took all the pieces out and said, well, we're going to redo this thing. And Steve Gibbs of NHRA set it up for us to take this car and put it in a museum in Pomona, California. And it was there for many years. We take it out, it ran and everything, and we take it out and run it to Bakersfield Meet. And so then, at their 60th anniversary, I believe, Peterson Museum came down to the NHRA Museum and said, we want 5 of your top cars that were really history notable. So they came down and I said, they want that little orange Roadster and the cars that are 300 inches long and all that stuff, all the trick new ones. And they picked 5 cars, and this was one of them, to be in the Peterson Museum on Roadster Boulevard. And I was really honored about that.
B-29 first flew in September 1942. It introduced innovations like pressurized cabins, remote control guns. There were over 3,000 built. It could carry bombs higher, farther, and faster than any other bomber in World War II. Had a huge impact on everything from World War II strategy in the Pacific Theater to pop culture, as the cockpit of the B-29 is actually the inspiration for the Millennium Falcon in Star Wars.
I have the steering wheel out of this race car here, and it's supposedly out of like a B-29 trainer. In its day, in the trainer, it was positioned like so, with some deals, orifices here so you could have buttons or kill switches or something. In a race car, you don't want to get hung up, so it sits just like this, and I can crawl in and out of it.
This B-29 is on loan from the National Museum of the United States Air Force. It has quite a service history, flying out of Guam, 32 combat missions as shown on its markings, and 3 dots and a dash, which is Morse code for the letter V. And that signifies that this aircraft was a part of the show of force flyover in the Bay of Tokyo in 1945 when Japan officially surrendered. So VJ Day, this aircraft was there.
Years ago, thank God for Barry Goldwater, my man. He had a deal where he got us on the base here, or the base over there, to be able to race the drag race cars on an abandoned airstrip. All they used it for was parking aircraft, and it was during the Korean situation. We raced there. As a matter of fact, this car set a world speed record on that pavement over there. That's before they had the drag strip like they have now, where it's so nice. Oh, it's prepped and everything. That thing had a bump in the end, and so if you opened your mouth, you couldn't get it closed because you're going so damn fast. But it was a fun place to race.
So a couple interesting things about this aircraft, if you come down to the P. Marin Space Museum to visit, is you can actually walk under the bomb bays. It carried 16,000 pounds of bombs at max capacity, and you can see one of them up in there. And another interesting thing that we have on display here is when this aircraft was flying combat mission, it received some flak, and one of the compartments lost pressure. The crew actually stuffed his glove in there to maintain the pressure, and we have that glove on display as well here. Luckily, a lot of the crew that flew this aircraft has visited.
We were supposed to race kerosene regards, and they broke an engine. That's before they had all like 3 bullets in their trailer and stuff. These guys just had a engine in the car, and we were still alive. We still had the car running and so on. And they said, okay, what are we going to do? Because we've got a big crowd out here looking for these guys to race us. And guess what? They're both broke. So they said, okay, we've got a guy here that's got a twin-engine airplane. Stormy McDonald was his name. And they figured out if he went so many knots, came over the starting line so many knots, we could take off the same time and it'd be a close race. And it was very, very close. I have a photograph of the thing where I didn't know whether to go under that twin engine thing, if he came down further, or just keep going. And I was able to pass him underneath. I went underneath his airplane to win. It was spectacular. More people, you'll never see it happen again, never. We even had like the shoulder harness, seat belts and all that stuff from the salvage yard here in Tucson. And one of the guys that worked at the Air Guard was in the test business to test it, the shrouding, sworn things. He tested it and he said it went all the way up to 60 PSI before it broke. Well, that's nothing. Thank God I didn't ever crash it. It was a fun, this has been a very outstanding car, and it's a world record holder. I'm pleased with it.
Hope you enjoyed the story about the Speed Sport and the B-29 today here at Peace Space Museum. Hope you get a chance to visit either us or the Tucson Dragway.